This is Co-Free with RobinHoodsPlayground.com. I'm going to do a video guide on flashing the Xbox 360 with a light on drive with Clutch's new RHPG Iprep 9. After you've got your Iprep installed on your computer, go on and get it started up. At this point, load in your firmware. So we load in our light on firmware. Make sure your controller's right. You need to keep in mind the DD60, the port, which your port will be different, but mine is DD60. I'm going to be using COM1 because I'm using a RS-232 COM cable. Put your target drive in that you're going to boot to, which that's going to be G. Put a check in format make bootable and include batch files check. The new Iprep you can use FAT or you can format it FAT32. I'll just use FAT. Once all that gets done, click start. Right now I just want to give a big thanks to Clutch, Caster, Commodore, all the guys that make this possible for us. We really appreciate it. Once that gets done, close everything out and boot onto your flash drive. While this is powering down, guys, after the dump you have to reboot into Windows and make a copy of the backup folder that is on your flash drive. There's a lot of posts on the boards, Robin Hood's Playground, at 360 Mods, at Clutch.com. All of us are seeing a lot of posts about drives locked up or not having your original to flash in to do a recover or restore. You have to have that to save that drive. Alright, once we get to here, I'm going to hook the drive up, which I have the bottom of the drive taken off right now. I'm using a connectivity kit right here, and I've got the bottom off, and at this point I'm going to hook the drive all up, eject it halfway, or eject the drive, then power it off, close it halfway, I usually go a little more, and power the drive back on. Now I flip the drive over and I've got my probe ready because I'm going to pull the key with the probe. I'm putting it in the 707 hole. Got a green light. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. On the probe there, right under my thumb, you can see the green light. It's got a good connection. So at this point, I'm going to type D lite in the serial. I'm just using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should probably use your real serial number off the back of your 360. If you do more than one, it really helps keep up with it. So right here I've put that in. I'm going to hit enter. It says ensure that your drive is on and connected to COM1, which I've hooked up my RS-232 cable to the connectivity kit. So it's hooked up, so I hit enter. Now it says make sure the tray is open and closed halfway and powered back on, which of course it is. When you're ready, hit Y and enter. It pulled the drive key. It's doing the dummy bin and the identify and getting the data it needs. Once that gets done, the dummy bin will build, and Caster's firm tool run actually built our hacked firmware. Now at this point I've taken the probe off. I'm not holding it on anymore. Right here, guys, is where you have to power back down, boot into Windows, and make a copy of your entire backups folder. Then power back down, boot up onto your USB flash and continue. If you have any trouble with the erase or with the flash, you've got to have that information to save that drive, to save that console. Jungle had some trouble locking up on the erase with Via. The new stuff works good. You've got to have that for all the drives. You need to save that. I have that information already, so I'm just going to start right here and go straight on to the flash. So right here we type F lite serial. Keep in mind, guys, when you boot back up onto your flash, you're not going to see the screen. You're actually going to see the first screen with the dump information in the drives, the flash information, and you'll just start at the flash and not the dump. So I've got that put in. I hit enter. It says ensure the drive is on. COM1 don't need to be connected. Well, I'm not undoing it right now. Your drive will be erased. If asked for 28 or MTK, answer no. Press any key. It's erasing the drive. If there's a problem right now, that's when you've got to have that backup folder to save this drive. Alright, it says if you're asked for 28, power the light on and off. Power it off, it's off, then power it back on. Now it says about the 28 and MTK, if it asks, say no. When you get down to the bottom, hit W for write, and then you have to enter the name litecfw.bin, lite custom firmware.bin. Hit any key to continue. It's hung at the second port. It's an IDE drive that I didn't unhook. That's another thing you want to make sure before you boot on your flash the first time that you unhook all your other drives. If you have a SATA drive, you absolutely have to unhook it because FirmTool has trouble running when there's more than one SATA drive hooked up. So if you've got a SATA hard drive or a DVD drive, you've got to unhook those. You can see right here the 6. We know D60 is our port, drive 6, but it don't know what it is. That's irrelevant. That don't matter. It's been erased. It can't find anything. So at this point we have to put in 6. Enter. Now we're wanting to write to the drive, so we hit W, enter. Here we have to put in that name, which was litecfw.bin, and hit enter. That double checks the erase and it'll write the drive. If after all this is done and it's back to the C prompt, put it back in your 360 and try an original 360 game. If it plays, your flash is good. If you put a backup in and it don't play, odds are your backup is the problem, not your flash. Anyway, once it gets to there, it's finished and it's flashed. Put it back together and test it out.